Picture this. You pull into your driveway one night, somewhere in Los Angeles, and your headlights land on something standing there. An animal 4 meters tall, with tusks the length of a car, filling the whole street. It sounds impossible. But that animal was real, and it walked the exact ground your city is built on. In fact, right in the middle of Los Angeles, there's a place where the bones of these creatures still bubble up out of the ground. The Brea Tar Pits, a black, sticky death trap that swallowed animals whole for 40,000 years, preserving an entire lost world of monsters beneath the streets of LA. These are the 11 prehistoric monsters that once ruled California, and we're counting down to the deadliest of them all. Every single one of them was real. Every single one lived right where you live now, and most of them met their end in the tar. Number 11. The Western horse. Here's a fact that surprises almost everyone. Horses did not come to America with the Spanish. They evolved here, and California was full of them. The Western horse grazed the open grasslands of Ice Age California in great herds. A wild, sturdy horse built for the plains. And then, at the end of the Ice Age, something strange happened. Horses vanished completely from North America. For thousands of years, the land that invented the horse had none at all, until Europeans finally carried them back across the ocean. We know exactly how they lived and died here, because their bones flooded into the Brea Tar Pits. A thirsty horse, wandering too close to what looked like a shallow pool of water, would step into the tar and sink. The more it struggled, the deeper it went. Imagine a herd of wild horses grazing where the Los Angeles freeways now run. The Western horse ruled California's grasslands until the Great Extinction at the end of the Ice Age, around 11,000 years ago, when it disappeared from the entire continent. Number 10. Camelops. And if horses in California surprise you, this one should stop you cold. California once had camels. Camelops was a true camel, as tall as a modern dromedary, that roamed the woodlands and grasslands of Ice Age California, browsing on leaves and shrubs. In fact, camels originally evolved in North America before ever spreading to Asia and Africa. So a camel standing on a California hillside wasn't out of place at all. It was home. Whether or not it had a hump, we can't be sure, but it towered over most of the animals around it, and it too blundered into the Brea Tar and left its bones for us to find. Picture that. A 2-meter camel striding across the Hollywood Hills, long before there was a Hollywood. Camelops ruled the California landscape for millions of years, until the same wave of extinction that took the horses swept the camels out of North America around 11,000 years ago, leaving their relatives to survive only on the far side of the world. Number 9. The ancient bison. Long before the bison of the Great Plains, California was home to an even larger cousin, a massive, heavy-horned beast bigger and taller than the buffalo alive today. Herds of them moved across the California grasslands, and they were, by far, the most common large animal to die in the Brea Tar Pits. Thousands of them are entombed there. They weren't predators, but a charging 2-meter bison with horns like curved spears was more than capable of killing anything that got in its way. And here is the grim genius of the tar. A single bison, stuck and bellowing in the asphalt, would draw every hungry predator for miles. The wolves, the lions, the saber-tooths, who rushed in for an easy meal and got trapped in the tar themselves. Imagine a herd of these thundering down a California valley where suburbs now sit. The ancient bison ruled California until the end of the Ice Age, when it too vanished, though a smaller descendant survived to become the American buffalo. Number 8. The giant ground sloth. Forget the slow little sloths of the jungle. The ground sloth that lived in California was a shaggy, bear-like giant that stood as tall as a person when it reared up, and weighed as much as a small car. It lumbered through the Ice Age California woodlands, stripping branches. But it came armed. Its powerful arms ended in long, curved claws, and its hide was studded with tiny pebbles of bone, a built-in layer of armor beneath the skin. A saber-tooth that tried to take one down risked being gutted with a single swipe, or shattering its fangs on that armored hide. And its bones, too, turned up by the hundreds in the La Brea Tar. Now imagine walking through a Los Angeles park at dusk and finding 3 meters of clawed, armored muscle rising up on its hind legs right in front of you. It wasn't a hunter, but you would not survive the misunderstanding. The giant ground sloths vanished from California around 11,000 years ago, as the Ice Age came to an end. Number 7. The Teratorn. Not every California monster hunted on the ground. This one owned the sky. The Teratorn was a giant bird of prey, a monstrous relative of the condor and the vulture, with a wingspan that stretched nearly 4 meters, wide enough to blot out the sun over anything below. It soared over the Los Angeles basin on rising columns of warm air, scanning the ground far beneath, and it hunted as well as scavenged, snatching up smaller animals in its long, hooked beak and swallowing them whole. And it had a fatal weakness for the tar. Teratorns are found in the pits in large numbers, likely swooping down to feed on the animals already trapped in the asphalt, only to become stuck themselves. Picture standing in modern LA, and a shadow the size of a small plane sweeping silently over the rooftops, cast by a living bird. The Teratorns ruled the California skies until the Ice Age extinction stripped away the carcasses they lived on, and the giant birds fell from the sky for good. Number 6. The American lion. Most people have no idea that lions once ruled California, and they were bigger than any lion alive today. Panthera atrox, the American lion, was one of the largest cats that has ever lived, up to 25% larger than an African lion, weighing as much as 400 kilograms. It stalked the grasslands and canyons of Ice Age California as a supreme ambush predator, bringing down bison, horses, and young mammoths. At that size, a human was nothing, barely a snack, and far too easy to catch. This was a predator you prayed never noticed you, and like the others, it was drawn to the tar, lured by the cries of trapped prey, only to be caught in the same black grip. Imagine those eyes catching your headlights at the edge of a California canyon road. A lion, a full quarter, bigger than any on Earth today, crouched low, watching, deciding. The American lion ruled California until the great herds collapsed at the end of the Ice Age, and it vanished around 11,000 years ago. Number 5. The dire wolf. If you dug into the La Brea Tar Pits right now, the animal you would find more than any other predator is this one. The tar has given up the remains of more than 4,000 dire wolves, more than anywhere else on Earth. The dire wolf was heavier and far more powerfully built than any wolf alive today, with a massive skull and bone-crushing jaws, and it hunted the horses, bison, and mammoths of Ice Age California in coordinated packs. Recent DNA revealed it wasn't even a true wolf, but a separate, ancient lineage that only looked the part. A single one was dangerous. A pack was a death sentence. And the tar is exactly why so many died. A whole pack, rushing in to feed on a single trapped animal, would all become stuck together. Imagine you're on a hillside in California at night, and just past the edge of the light, a dozen pairs of eyes catch the glow, spread in a slow arc, drawing closer. The dire wolf ruled California until its prey vanished at the end of the Ice Age, disappearing around 13,000 years ago. Number 4. The short-faced bear. California puts a bear on its flag, but the bear that once truly ruled this land would have made a grizzly look small. Arctodus, the short-faced bear, was the largest meat-eating land animal in the entire history of North America. On all fours, it dwarfed a modern bear. Standing up, it towered well over 3.5 meters tall, high enough to look into a second-story window. And it had long, straight legs built for covering ground at speed, and a bite that could crush bone like a twig. Many scientists believe it ruled by sheer intimidation, shoving the lions, the wolves, and the saber-tooths off their kills, because nothing on the continent could stand up to it. In California, there was no outrunning it, and no fighting it. Imagine pulling into your driveway in Los Angeles at night, your headlights sweeping the dark, and finding that already there, rising up to face you, filling the whole street. The short-faced bear ruled California until the end of the Ice Age, vanishing around 11,000 years ago. Number 3. The Columbian mammoth. This is the one you would never forget seeing in the flesh. The Columbian mammoth was one of the largest land animals ever to walk North America, towering up to 4 meters at the shoulder, carrying tusks that could exceed 4 meters in length, and weighing as much as 10 tons. Unlike its shaggy, woolly cousin of the frozen north, this was a warm climate giant that roamed the open grasslands of Ice Age California in herds. La Brea gave up one of the most famous of them all, a nearly complete mammoth the scientists nicknamed Zed, pulled from the tar in the middle of modern Los Angeles. A single one of these could flatten a car without noticing. Now picture what you saw in the thumbnail made real. A 10-ton mammoth standing in your driveway at night, its tusks scraping the streetlight, its footsteps rattling the windows of your house. The Columbian mammoth ruled California until the end of the Ice Age, around 11,000 years ago, when a warming world and human hunters brought the largest beast in the state's history to its end. Number 2. The Megalodon. Everything so far ruled the land, but off the coast of California swam the single most terrifying predator in the history of the planet. Megalodon was a shark up to 18 meters long, the length of a school bus, with a bite powerful enough to crush a whale and teeth the size of your open hand. And California is one of the best places on Earth to prove it was here. At Sharktooth Hill near Bakersfield, the ground is packed with the fossil teeth of these giants, right alongside the bones of the whales they hunted. A whole ancient seafloor lifted up and turned into dry California hills. For millions of years, this colossus patrolled the warm waters off the California coast, feeding on whales the way a modern shark takes a fish. Then, as the oceans cooled and its prey moved away, even the largest shark that ever lived slowly starved into extinction. Every fossil tooth pulled from those California hills is a reminder that these waters once held a monster beyond imagining. And number 1. The saber-toothed cat. There is no more fitting ruler of ancient California, because Smilodon is the official state fossil and the undisputed king of the Brea Tar Pits. More than 2,000 of them have been pulled from the tar, drawn in again and again by the same fatal temptation. An animal trapped and screaming in the asphalt, an easy meal that became a grave. Smilodon wasn't built for speed. It was built like a wrestler, with front legs so heavily muscled it could pin a struggling animal flat to the ground, and then drive a pair of sabers up to 18 centimeters long, longer than your whole hand, into its throat. It didn't chase. It waited, hidden, and exploded outward at the last second. And you would never see it coming. Now imagine one of those crouched at the edge of a California street at night, sabers gleaming in the headlights, eyes glowing, already far too close. Smilodon ruled California for hundreds of thousands of years, right up until the end of the Ice Age, when the giants it hunted died out, and the ultimate ambush killer followed its prey into extinction around 10,000 years ago. 11 monsters, giant horses and camels, a sky hunter, a shark the size of a bus, and the saber-toothed king of the tar. And every one of them once ruled the land and the waters of California, standing where your home stands right now. Most of them are still down there, beneath the streets of Los Angeles, locked in the black tar that swallowed them alive. But their story doesn't have to end as bones in a pit. If you want to step inside their world, to live the final days of the last of its kind, that story is waiting for you right here. I'll see you in it.